the biggest upsets in the Big 12 this season, and there are 5 of them that I'll get. The 5 biggest upsets. The first one comes very early on. Congratulations, Kansas. You just beat Illinois. I think Kansas gets it done. They have the best quarterback in this league, according to the media. They have the best running back in this league, also according to the media. Their offense is superb. I don't think Brett Bielema slows it down. I love what Lance Leipold has done. I told you 5-7 finish for Kansas this year, but they get the ball rolling with a win over Illinois. The offense, unstoppable. The defense has so many question marks. They were the worst defense in the Big 12 last year. That certainly doesn't bode well for you coming into this season, but I still think Kansas gets it done in a tough game, in a tough game, and impresses a lot of people with a win over Illinois. My number 2 upset this year of the 5, Baylor over Texas. The Bears are a top 2 or 3 team when it comes to havoc this season. I have like a havoc meter for teams that are just going to be pesky for the rest of the league. I don't think Baylor's going to contend for a Big 12 championship. They're not going to go to Arlington. However, they're going to create havoc by beating Texas at home in week 4. Texas loses to Alabama. There's so many people who are hyping up this, UT so good, they're going to beat Alabama, and then they're going to run the table in the Big 12. I don't think so. After the Alabama loss, you see where Texas has holes. You see where Quinn Ewers has holes. And a Baylor team that has already lost to Utah beats Texas. They lose to Utah. You're thinking, oh no, how's this going to go for the Baylor season? They are 2-1 going into the UT game. It's in Waco, late September. UT has already lost to Alabama. And trap game, 11 a.m. UT overlooks it. Baylor gets a huge win. Dave Aranda beats Texas again, and the Longhorns are upset by the Bears. Then I'll take you to the very next week for upset number 3, the UCF Knights. Welcome to the Big 12. They get a massive win. John Rice Plumlee facing the Baylor Bears. And you say, look, Baylor just beat Texas. This Baylor team is one of the best in the conference now, right? Wow, not so fast. I told you about havoc. UCF, another great havoc team. Just when you think Baylor's on a path to a Big 12 title after beating the best team in the conference, starting 2-0 in conference play as well, or 1-0, I should say, in conference play, UCF. Honeymoon is over. John Rice Plumlee at home. It's a night game in Orlando. They love those 8:15 kickoffs there, 8:30 kickoffs. UCF gets it done over Baylor in week 4 to spoil that Texas win for the Bears. Number 4. Welcome to the list, the BYU Cougars. BYU is going to beat Oklahoma this season. When I look at BYU's schedule and what they have in front of them, it's obviously not easy. They got one of the tougher draws in the Big 12. They've got to face Texas Tech and Texas. They're non-con against Arkansas. They have TCU in there as well, and Oklahoma, and that's a win. It is the second to last game on the schedule. BYU has 6 wins. They're already bowl eligible at this point. Oklahoma has floundered, come in and out. They're staring down the barrel of a possible 8-4. They had a great start to the year, 5-0 start. And at this point, things aren't looking rosy for the Sooners. And BYU at home in a night game steps up and says, hey, we belong here. See you later, Oklahoma. You wanted to leave, and because you left, we got to come to this conference. And they win. Keaton Slovis has his feet underneath him at this point. BYU finishes 7-5 overall in the year, but with a win against Oklahoma. Dylan Gabriel can't handle it. The Sooners can't handle it. Their defense is not good enough to stop Keaton Slovis. That night at least, there's something special at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, and Provo goes crazy with a huge win for Kalani Sitake. If there are any questions about the hot seat, any questions about Sitake's future in Provo, they are silenced with a win against Oklahoma before that power team leaves the conference. And lastly, hello, Red Raiders. Get them up. Get them up. Is it 1 or is it 2? Is it 1 or is it? I think it's 1. Is it 1? It's 1. Finger on the guns. Texas Tech 100%. Absolutely will beat Oregon this year. All this hype about, Oregon's so good. Bo Nix. Bo Nix is like 27 years old. I take Tyler Shuck all day. I think they walk in there. Texas Tech walks into this game fearlessly under Joey McGuire. Remember what he said, that everything, like it all runs through Lubbock. It's all Lubbock. That's another, this is the similar to the Texas game last year where it's just, meh, this is what we do. Week 2 in Lubbock against the Oregon Ducks. Tech's not scared. It's the home opener. The place is packed. I think Jones AT&T will be the best atmosphere in the Big 12 this season. There's not a stadium that's going to rival that place, especially for a game as big as Oregon coming to town. I think Oregon's like a 7-5, 8-4 team this year as well. I don't know if they can contend with Washington, Utah, USC at the top of that conference. Even if they're 9-3, one of those three losses, the Texas Tech Red Raiders in Lubbock. It is all West Texas. Eugene, Oregon is West Texas. And those are my 5 upsets. Number 1, Kansas over Illinois. 2, Baylor beats Texas. 3, the very next week, UCF upsets Baylor in Orlando at the Bounce House. 4, BYU kicks Oklahoma out of the conference with a home win at Lavelle Edwards and an upset over the Sooners. Number 5, by the way, the Sooners had the number 122 total defense in America last year. It's not going to be great. You can't just flip that around instantly in 1 year. Number 5, Texas Tech over Oregon because it is all West Texas. Those, the 5 upsets that will happen in the Big 12 this season. Coming up next, who will win in Arlington? It's Texas Tech, it's Kansas State, and it's Locked On Big 12, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It is your team, and it is every day.